Teams are trying to get some more attention in Japan because one club has almost all of the attention in Japan right now. They happen to have the best player on the planet and one of the best all time on their team. That's the Dodgers. This story has to do with the Blue Jays marketing. So Evan Drellick put out a report that said a Japanese boxing ring festooned with Toronto Blue Jays logos broke MLB's marketing rules. Basically, according to this article, the Blue Jays had some logos across the mat for a world title boxing match, and they did not have permission from MLB. You have to have permission from MLB to put any kind of signage abroad, okay? And the Blue Jays said that they were aware of the sponsorship in advance of the logo being used and that it was not a paid sponsorship. So that sounds like maybe that was a difference in their mind, and there's internal discussion right now. I read this one actually kind of twice just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. KP, I understand that teams need to get permission and be on the same page with MLB so that it's not just a marketing fest all across the world and that they want everything to be in lockstep. But at the same time, although Kratz is laughing at me because, yes, a marketing fest would be good. This part stood out to me later on in the article. Sometimes MLB and teams will effectively pool their branding rights together. The Dodgers, for example, started a fan club in Japan, and Rob Manfred commented on that in the spring. He said, you're going to see some fan club events in Japan that are different than anything that we've done, and those are a joint effort between MLB and the Dodgers because both MLB and Dodgers rights are involved. So I get all of that, and I'm wondering if some other teams are feeling like they're not getting their fair share of attention in a place that is just full of talent that is coming over to the major leagues and succeeding.
Sounds like the mafia. I mean, if you want to advertise, just line the pockets at MLB. It's that simple. And obviously the Dodgers have figured that out, but what was the price the Dodgers had or the Blue Jays had to play? It was a slap on the wrist. So good for them going out and, it was money well spent, or what they said they weren't receiving anything back from it. So good for them trying to go out and bend the rules a little bit. And if the discipline is a slap on the wrist, good for them.
Yeah. I mean, the whole marketing scheme of 55 to 65-year-old white men in this game of baseball stinks. Like they can't figure out exactly how to telecast a regional game nationally. They restrict rights for highlights to places like Foul Territory who are trying to grow the game. It's restriction after restriction after restriction. And the NFL and the NBA, they're not perfect, but they're not restricting, especially not restricting players. They're not restricting teams. Like if Major League Baseball wants to ride the coattails of, say, the New York Yankees and buy a said podcast of a big Yankees fan and put money into that, I feel like that's kind of hurtful to the other teams. Like, what about a Reds podcast? Like, say, Riverfront Territory? But what now they want to hop on the tails of the Dodgers too. Like, don't take the easy marketing. There's another international team that came within 2 outs of the World Series that wants to promote their brand, which ultimately promotes Major League Baseball's brand. To me, let it go. Maybe get your rules right, but let it go. We're growing it. Like, I want to know how many Blue Jay fans are now over in Japan because they just watched a 7-game series that was epic. Strike while the iron's hot. Let everybody, because a rising tide raises all ships. So let these teams advertise and market in different ways. It's 2025.
They want control, though. I mean, I agree with you. I would say if they want to approve the messaging because they don't want a team to put something out there that's like inappropriate or crosses the line, okay, I'm with you on that. But to tell teams like everything has to go through them, that sounds a little helicopter parent-ish to me. But I see where the fight is right now. I mean, KP, you've seen this go on for the last several years. The Blue Jays, I give them credit, have at least made a fight for Roki Sasaki, a pretty strong one. And before that, Shohei Ohtani. They didn't get those players. And we actually saw the Blue Jays face those players in the World Series. So it very directly impacts, of course, their business and also their results on the field. How can you get your team more popular in a country right now that is just drooling Dodgers. I was there a year ago. It's Dodgers everything everywhere and Shohei everything everywhere. Kratz, we picked you to talk about MeUndies, not just because they're ridiculously comfortable, but also because they're very festive. When the holiday season hits, you go on the website and there are just so many more designs to check out. And they just scream Erik Kratz getting little matching sets with everybody that he knows.
You know what? They're called MeUndies, not you-undies. So you go in and you say, this one's for me. This set is for me. This is what is good for me. Not you-undies, MeUndies. A lot of different ones to choose from.
I'm so confused, but what I do know is that you can knock out all of your holiday gifting needs today with MeUndies, and to get the exclusive holiday deals up to 50% off, MeUndies.com/foul. Enter promo code FOUL. That's MeUndies.com/FOUL. Promo code is FOUL for up to 50% off. Matching holiday prints with your person? You can't beat that.
Yeah, to Kratz's point, I mean, they played the Dodgers in the World Series in 7 games. How many more Japanese fans did the Toronto Blue Jays receive? How many potential Japanese free agents were watching those games in Japan because they wanted to watch their fellow countrymen and Shohei and Roki and Yamamoto? But they end up going, wow, the Blue Jays, that looks like a great city to play for, a great fan base, an unbelievable organization. So how much did the Blue Jays playing the Dodgers in the World Series with the Japanese players they have really kind of maybe change the duration of, their ability to go out and sign these guys? I mean, because like you mentioned, they had been in the sweepstakes for all these guys over the last couple of years. So good for them going out and doing what they did. And, more importantly, like Kratzy was talking about too, why is it such a big deal when teams or places like Foul Territory, or if it's your independent guy at home who wants to create a podcast and they want to use MLB footage to just try to grow the game? Isn't that what Major League Baseball should be wanting from people? Continue to grow this game, reach a younger audience, however, they see it fit. I just hate that even as a player, I don't even control, or former player, I don't even control access to my own highlights. I can't go out and create a Kevin Pillar podcast or website and safely be able to use my own footage. So it's kind of crazy what Major League Baseball does in terms of, how much they're helicopter parenting, controlling, every single person when it comes to the game of baseball.
And the marketing part of it, like Major League Baseball is losing the grassroots part of baseball. They've gotten rid of an entire 2 levels of minor league baseball. And from what I hear, they're going to get rid of at least one more. So small town America, small town podcasts are losing the access to the game. And I wanted to comment on the fact that I talked to somebody who was in the meetings with Shohei and Roki. He said, you know what? I don't know if we ever had a chance. But I do know that we put together a really, really good package in the sense of like what you saw, their spring training, what they've done in Toronto and everything like that. And they're very proud of that. And you go, okay, whatever. Like you're proud of the team that you work for. But then you see Shane Bieber sign back a very team-friendly deal after being there for 2 months plus the playoffs. Now you go, okay, well, this team's done some ancillary things. They've done some things that maybe some other teams aren't doing that can help draw people to Toronto, because KP knows the only people that get drawn to Toronto when we played were the dudes that were getting extra cash. Well, the Blue Jays have cash. They have a monopolistic communications company that owns their team, essentially. It's a publicly traded team, and they have cash in the country of Canada, and they're willing to do what it takes to get these guys over here. So kudos to them, and they could be the beast of the East for a while if they continue to spend like this when other teams may not quite spend the same in the American League East.
In conclusion, a Blue Jays logo on a boxing ring sounds like something that, if it's illegal right now in the league, should be made legal. That is good marketing and promotion for Major League Baseball and for particular teams. One clarification here, KP, no punishment at all actually announced right now. There could be one. I don't think it's going to be a big one. This sounds like a rule that doesn't really get much of a penalty, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly. I think KP basically said what will result, which is probably a light little slap, maybe even a warning, because apparently this might have been done for the first time in this particular situation. But anyway, if you have thoughts on this and you're catching it after the fact or you're watching live, let us know what you think.